Everyone, and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to a new cycle on Global Television, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. I am Wiyak Mofwegbe, reminding all of our viewers that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365, Star Times channel 276, and Free TV. The Nigerian Education Loan Fund, also called NELFund, has expressed its readiness to work closely with the National Assembly to expand the student loan scheme. The fund says it aims to increase indirect beneficiaries from 1.6 million to 7 million students as part of efforts to drive national transformation. Managing Director of the fund, Akintunde Sawyer, disclosed that a total of 282 billion naira has so far been disbursed to beneficiaries under the scheme. Our National Assembly correspondent, Agnietia Patrick, now reports.
Speaking at a one-day national sensitization program on student loans organized by the Senate's Committee on Tertiary Education and TETFund in collaboration with NELFund, Akintunde Sawyer said 1.6 million Nigerian students have directly benefited from the scheme. According to him, the program has also impacted about 10 million Nigerians indirectly and would further expand the scheme to benefit about 50 million Nigerians.
6 million beneficiaries. It's not going to change Nigeria. We need at least 7 million Nigerians to be benefiting from this. And when we expand into skills and TVET, we believe that there are 50 million Nigerians who could benefit from this. This is what's going to make the change.
In his remarks, Deputy President of the Senate, Senator Barau Jibri, described the sensitization program as timely, adding that many indigent Nigerians are still awaiting access to the intervention. According to him, no matter how beneficial a program may be, its impact will remain limited if the intended beneficiaries are not adequately informed.
Bringing this program is a big succor, is a big driver of the needs of our desire, a big propeller for us to have the society we want as Nigerians.
The Minister of State for Education, Professor Shuaiba Ahmed, said the present administration has restored hope to many students through NELFund. She stated that many young Nigerians who previously lacked the financial means to pursue higher education are now benefiting from the scheme.
Through NELFund, the federal government is providing a sustainable mechanism that empowers students to access quality education, while investing in the human capital development required to drive Nigeria's future growth and competitiveness.
Also speaking, Chairman of the Senate's Committee on TETFund, Senator Muntari Danduse, said the sensitization program aligns with the committee's constitutional oversight responsibilities. Senator Danduse reaffirmed the National Assembly's support for the scheme and urged stakeholders to work towards its sustainability. Other speakers at the event described NELFund as a transformative intervention in Nigeria's education sector. They called for the sustenance of the initiative to ensure that future generations continue to benefit from it. From the National Assembly, Agnietia Patrick, Global TV News.
Well, thank you so very much, Agnietia. President Bola Tinubu has extended greetings to Muslims in Nigeria and across the world on the occasion of the Islamic New Year, first Muharram 1448 AH, urging citizens to embrace patriotism and good citizenship. In a statement issued by his special advisor on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, the president congratulated the Muslim Ummah as they mark the beginning of a new Hijri year, which coincides with June 16, 2026. The president also said the Islamic New Year offers an opportunity for reflection on the virtues of the Hijrah, including the migration of Prophet Muhammad from Mecca to Medina. According to him, the lessons of the Hijrah, including sacrifice, renewal, patience, and faith in Allah's divine plan, remain relevant to efforts aimed at building a peaceful, just, and prosperous nation. In a different development, President Bola Tinubu has stated that Nigeria will not surrender any territory to criminals, while commending the Nigerian Armed Forces and other security agencies for the successful operations that led to the elimination of a notorious bandit leader, Ibrahim Bastuji. President Tinubu also hailed the rescue of Ajia Amina Rabi Abubakar, widow of the late former Chief of Defense Information, Major General Rabi Abubakar, retired. Security forces had killed the notorious bandit Kingpin and his fighters while they were allegedly planning to attack a school and residence of Iluke Bunu in Kaba Bunu local government area of Kogi State. President Bola Tinubu has reiterated the commitment of his administration to strengthen the judiciary and deepen the rule of law. The president, who stated this at the commissioning of the newly constructed Court of Appeal complex for the Abuja division in Dakibiyu district in the Federal Capital Territory, says the project aligns with the Renewed Hope agenda's focus on institutional reforms and improved access to justice. Kabir Hassan was there for Global Television.
The newly completed Court of Appeal complex stands as a significant addition to Nigeria's judicial infrastructure. Commissioning the facility, President Bola Tinubu, represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima, said the edifice is more than a physical structure, describing it as a symbol of administration determination to build stronger institutions and ensure efficient justice delivery. The president noted that the complex replaces a temporary and inadequate facility, adding that the judiciary deserve a conducive environment to effectively discharge its constitutional responsibilities.
This is not just a building. This is a statement. A statement that under the Renewed Hope agenda, the rule of law will have a befitting home. This project aligns with our Renewed Hope agenda, which strives towards improved governance and the rule of law by carrying out judicial reforms, restructuring the judiciary, and increasing funding to ensure a just, rule-based society. I hereby commission the Court of Appeal Abuja Division Building Complex for the service of justice and for the benefit of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
President Tinubu also commended FCT Minister Nyesom Wike and the indigenous contractors for delivering the project within the stipulated timeline. The FCT Minister said the project forms part of a broader plan to strengthen judicial institutions and improve working conditions for judicial officers.
You can't talk about the independence of the judiciary when the judiciary does not have befitting environment where they can carry out their functions. Apart from the emoluments that are attached to them, you must provide a befitting environment where they are going to work and give them comfortable areas where they will stay and do their work in terms of their houses.
Wike added that the administration will soon hand over residential quarters for judges and commence construction of facilities for judicial institutions. The new Court of Appeal complex is expected to strengthen public confidence in the judiciary while enhancing the timely dispensation of justice. Kabir Hassan, Global TV News.
Away from Kabir's report now, the Federal Ministry of Education has denied reports that the Nigerian Education Management Information System was hacked, insisting that the platform remains secure and that no cyber attack occurred. In a statement issued and signed by Director of Press and Public Relations Folashade Boriowo, the ministry described the report as inaccurate and misleading. The ministry further explained that the temporary warning message seen by some users was caused by a secure socket layer certificate configuration issue at the hosting level rather than any security breach. That sounds quite reassuring. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has announced the release of results for the 2026 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination mock-up exercise. The board's spokesperson, Fabian Benjamin, disclosed this in a statement issued to journalists in Abuja, noting the candidates who sat for the examination can now access their results through the board's approved results checking platforms. Benjamin also said the release of the mock-up results marks the completion of the examination process, paving the way for the next phase of admissions. The National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, has given the 2,000 Batch B Stream 1 Corps members a fair promise of safety and a peaceful service a year from camp to posting areas across all nooks and crannies of Jigawa State. Speaking with journalists, the service's management gave the assurance during the batch swearing-in amid tight security at a time when the NYSC recently suspended swearing-in ceremonies in some states due to rising insecurity concerns. The management had reportedly suspended similar ceremonies in Niger State following security threats that dominated public discussion and social media spaces nationwide in recent times. The Kano State government has approved over 1 billion naira to the state's Hisbah Commission for this year's mass wedding program. Addressing a news conference, Director General of the Commission, Saidu Sufi, said more than 1,000 couples are expected to benefit from the initiative. Our correspondent, Idris Jibrain, has more.
The Kano State Hisbah Commission says the funds approved by Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf will be used for the procurement of furniture and payment of dowries for over 1,000 couples currently undergoing registration for the mass wedding program. Director General of the Commission, Saidu Sufi, explained that the package also includes food support items as well as a cash grant of 100,000 naira for each couple as a start-up capital to assist them in beginning married life.
His Excellency has approved the sum of 100,000 naira for each of the couples to serve as the dowry. So each couple is going to receive about 200,000 naira from Kano State government, and also the, as I said earlier, with the food items, the furniture.
According to the Commission, the initiative is designed to address the growing number of unmarried young men and women in the state while promoting social stability and family development.
His Excellency has also approved for screening. You know, screening is part of the requirements in Kano State that you have to undergo a medical screening. The Kano State government has approved for the screening of the following: HIV, hepatitis, pregnancy test, I said genotype also. These are the type of tests that are going to be conducted.
The annual mass wedding program remains one of the key social intervention initiatives of the Kano State government aimed at supporting eligible couples across the state. From Kano, Idris Jibrain, Global Television News.
We appreciate your reporting, Idris. The people of Ebonyi State have commended President Bola Tinubu over ongoing infrastructure projects and governance initiatives under the Renewed Hope agenda. The commendation came during a gathering of political leaders, traditional rulers, and stakeholders in Abakaliki, the state capital. Over to Kabir Hassan for details.
With several strategic infrastructure projects still at various stages of execution, the Senate has once again stepped in to prevent disruptions in.
We sincerely apologize for that mix-up. Details by Kabir Hassan will be brought to you in the course of our broadcast today. Meanwhile, you're watching the live broadcast of News Cycle. The rest of the news continues after these weather forecasts plus business, foreign, and sports stories for you. Please do not go away.
Thanks for joining us. There are still encouraging signs for more rainfall across the country as moisture levels remain supportive, particularly over the northeast. That said, we are beginning to see signals that rainfall activities may become less intense and less widespread compared to recent days over the central states. Meanwhile, in the next 24 hours, watch out for thunderstorms bringing light rainfall across parts of the northeastern region, the Federal Capital Territory, some parts of Kaduna, Kogi, Niger, Nasarawa, and Plateau State. Further south, especially across the southwestern region of the country, we are expecting moderate rain showers and could affect a wider area. That recent clouds and rainfall have also helped bring temperatures a bit down, especially overnight. giving many places cooler mornings. So as always, stay safe and stay weather aware. Thank you for watching.
Thank you so very much for staying with us. The second part of this news broadcast now returns with business, where the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria FAN says it has commenced an official investigation into the circumstances surrounding the allegation of gold smuggling involving its staff members. The authority's staff in the Aviation Security Section was arrested by operatives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, AFCC, for allegedly attempting to smuggle gold worth 4.4 billion naira out of the country in connivance with two other persons at the Malam Aminu Kano International Airport, Kano. The Commission's head of media and publicity, Dele Oyewale, announced the suspects' arrests in a statement issued to journalists the same day the suspects were arrested. The federal government has inaugurated a technical working group on agricultural produce residue standards to address recurring exports rejections of Nigerian agricultural commodities arising from non-compliance with maximum residue limits and other sanitary and phytosanitary requirements. The Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security, Aliyu Abdullahi, said the initiative was part of efforts to strengthen food safety systems and improve Nigeria's competitiveness in the regional and international agricultural markets. This was contained in a statement issued and signed by Abdullahi following the inauguration ceremony held at the Ministry's conference room in Abuja. Let's take the news beyond our shores now. The United Kingdom government has announced the appointment of Peter Vowles as the next British High Commissioner to Nigeria, succeeding Dr. Richard Montgomery. A statement from Atinuke Akonde Alegbe, Senior Communications and Public Diplomacy Officer for the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, says Vowles brings extensive diplomatic and development experience to the role, having served as His Majesty's Ambassador to Zimbabwe from 2023 to 2026 and previously as Ambassador to Myanmar from 2021 to 2022. He's expected to take up the post later in September this year. The G7 leaders are meeting with Arab leaders in Evian for a working session on security in the Middle East. The G7 summit comes shortly after a peace agreement was reached between the United States and Iran, which the U.S. President Donald Trump says would see the Strait of Hormuz completely open once the deal is signed. Iran says talks with the United States on its nuclear program and sanctions relief would likely begin later this week. We'll have those details for you later. In the meantime, United Kingdom Prime Minister Keir Starmer has unveiled plans to ban children under the age of 16 from accessing social media. This is a move the government says will go further than any country in the world in protecting young people online. Edikon Michael has details.
It's a landmark announcement from Downing Street that could reshape how an entire generation of young Britons experience the internet. Under the proposed legislation, children will be blocked from major platforms including TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, Facebook, and X. Now, messaging services such as WhatsApp and Signal, however, will remain accessible. The government says the ban will target, quote, user-to-user platforms whose purpose is to enable social interaction and which allows users to post material alongside algorithms.
These days, kids have to find their feet in a world that changes so quickly, where technology intrudes into every area of their lives. And we know that harms them. The response from parents in the consultation has been absolutely clear. Thousands of parents say their children are addicted to social media. It can leave them trapped in a cycle of endless scrolling that displaces play, sleep, and time with the family. It can harm their mental health. And frankly, parents need our support on this. That is why today the government has decided to ban social media access for children under 16.
The bill is expected to go before lawmakers before Christmas, with protection set to come into force in spring 2027. The announcement has been widely welcomed. 9 in 10 British parents backed the ban, according to government figures, and children charities have added their voice of support. Britain joins a growing international movement. Now, many countries have already started the ban. In Spain, France, Denmark, and Norway have all introduced or announced similar restrictions for the country. And so questions remain. How will age verification actually be enforced? And will determined teenagers simply find a way around it? And those are the questions the lawmakers will face as this bill makes its way through the parliament. From London, Edika Michael reporting for Global TV News.
And now back to our earlier story. G7 leaders are meeting with Arab leaders in Evian for a working session on security in the Middle East. The G7 summit comes shortly after a peace agreement was reached between the United States and Iran, which U.S. President Donald Trump says would see the Strait of Hormuz completely open once the deal is signed. Iran says talks with the United States on its nuclear program and sanctions relief would likely begin later this week.
Officials say negotiations over a final deal will take place within a 60-day window after the Memorandum of Understanding to end nearly 4 months of war triggered by U.S.-Israeli strikes on Iran is physically signed. Iran's Deputy Foreign Minister Majid Takht Ravanchi has also noted that the Islamic Republic's top negotiator Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf will attend the signing in Switzerland, which Bern said will take place at the luxury Buchenstock resorts overlooking Lake Lesson. The U.S. side will be represented by Vice President J.D. Vance, who said Trump might also attend. The developments came after Trump said an Iranian blockade on the crucial Hormuz Strait oil and gas routes would be fully lifted by Friday, which would be a major boost to the global economy. Optimism over the reopening of Hormuz has sent the price of the international benchmark Brent North Sea crude tumbling below $80 a barrel, which is a 3-month low. The U.S. had, in retaliation, imposed its own blockade on Iranian ports. Iranian state television said Iranian oil tankers and other vessels had resumed shipping following the deal, with Takht Ravanchi saying the United States blockade has been lifted prior to the formal signing. Sporadic episodes of violence since an April ceasefire had threatened a deal, but weeks of indirect negotiations mediated by Pakistan and Qatar built momentum for an interim agreement. Asked at the G7 in France when the text would be released, President Trump said, quote, "It is a very powerful document and I want it to be released, so probably pretty soon," unquote. Uyi Agmofwegbe, Global TV News.
Let's turn to sports now. The absence of the Super Eagles from the enlarged 48-team 2026 FIFA World Cup has yet ignited a public confrontation as former Green Eagles captain Segun Odegbami demands a complete structural overhaul and direct government intervention in the Nigerian Football Federation, while National Sports Commission Director General Bukola Olokbade says he believes the Ibrahim Gusau-led board has delivered a measurable result that critics are deliberately ignoring. Olokbade further cited the Super Falcons' run to the round of 16 at the 2023 Women's World Cup, which was Nigeria's best ever finish at that competition, as well as the Super Eagles' final appearance at the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations, where they lost narrowly to Cote d'Ivoire and a penalty shootout semi-final exit at the last AFCON in Morocco, as evidence that the Gusau-led board has delivered tangible progress. Iran twice battled back for a 2-2 draw with New Zealand on Monday, their opening match of a World Cup campaign that has been utterly overshadowed by war, politics and protest. The Iranian team's very presence at the Los Angeles Stadium had long felt uncertain after months of military conflicts between their nation and the United States. At last able to focus on the football, Iranian players twice found themselves trailing to the tournament's lowest-ranked team, thanks to goals from New Zealand striker Elijah Jost. Quite historic. Well, that's a full cycle on the news here. Thank you for watching, and a quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365, Star Times channel 276, and Free TV. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms using at Global TV NG, as well as other handles now showing on your screen. I'm Wiyag Mofwegwe, appreciating you for watching, and I will see you on News Prime.